Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're tackling a topic that usually makes people's eyes just totally glaze over, or worse, sparks instant anxiety. Yep, we're talking about cybersecurity. But hey, don't worry, we are not going to get bogged down in a bunch of confusing IT jargon. Instead, we're going to figure out how to transform cybersecurity from this chaotic, reactive IT headache into a really clear, proactive business strategy. The wake-up call, shifting to proactive cybersecurity. We've got some fascinating data to get through, so let's just jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this by actually stepping away from our computers for a second. Imagine you come home from a long day at work. You pull into your driveway and your front door is just sitting wide open. What would you do? You'd probably freeze in your car, right? Your mind instantly starts racing. Did someone break in? Are they still in there? Did they take everything? It's just pure panic. You might eventually go inside, look around, and miraculously find that nothing's actually missing. But man, that overwhelming feeling of vulnerability, that really sticks with you. So what happens next? Well, usually an immediate, highly emotional reaction. You hop on Amazon and you panic buy hundreds of dollars worth of expensive cameras, smart locks, alarm systems, the whole shebang. You probably don't even know if it's the right system or how to set it up properly, but you buy it anyway because you are desperately reacting to an event. And this home invasion scenario, it perfectly mirrors how business owners often approach cybersecurity. They literally wait for a cyber event to happen or for a really close call before rushing out to buy all this tech they don't fully understand, mostly just to soothe that feeling of panic without a clear strategy.
Section 1. The Psychology of Cyber Threats.
Now, what's really interesting here is why business decision makers are usually so incredibly resistant to proactive purchasing when it comes to their digital security. It's a fundamental flaw in how most organizations think. Look at the reactive approach. That's our open front door scenario, right? Panic buying tools after an event. Versus the proactive approach, doing a strategic risk assessment before anyone even tries the door handle. So why do so many leaders stick to the reactive side? Honestly, it's mostly psychological. Clients often suffer from this false sense of security. They think, well, we've never been hacked, so we won't be hacked. It's kind of like trying to sell snow boots to someone who lives in the desert. They just fail to grasp the likelihood of an attack until it's way too late.
Which brings us to Section 2, the cost of complacency. Because unfortunately, just ignoring the problem doesn't magically make it go away. Let's look at the stark realities and the massive financial consequences of waiting for that digital front door to get kicked in. $300 million. Back in 2017, the global shipping giant Maersk got hit by a massive cyber attack. The culprit? Ransomware that literally just took advantage of non-updated software vulnerabilities. Because they hadn't proactively patched their systems, this virus spread like wildfire. It ended up costing the company up to $300 million, plus 2 weeks of absolute crippling business downtime worldwide.
Now, maybe you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, that's a massive global enterprise and I run a much smaller operation. Well, consider this. 50%, half of all UK businesses reported experiencing some form of a cybersecurity breach or attack within a single 12-month period. Half of them. To put that into perspective, it's really no longer a matter of if you'll get hit, but when.
And actually, the impact on smaller organizations is way more devastating. 60% of small businesses experience cyber attacks. And here's the truly terrifying part of that stat. Nearly a quarter of those businesses that get hit end up going completely out of business within 6 months. I mean, wow. A cyber attack isn't just a pesky IT glitch. For a lot of companies, it's literally an extinction-level event. And this brilliantly illustrates the collective anxiety out there. 82% of organizations feel vulnerable to cyber threats. I mean, they watch the news, they know what's going on, they know that global cybercrime damages are expected to reach a mind-boggling $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. Trillion with a T. So the awareness of the danger, it's absolutely there. But despite 82% feeling vulnerable, there is this incredible contrast in actual behavior. Only 39% of organizations have a formal risk assessment process in place. That is a massive, massive gap between those who feel afraid and those who are actually taking strategic action to prevent a breach. Most companies are literally just waiting around, hoping their digital front door holds up on its own.
Section 3. Peeling the security onion.
So if we want to move into that proactive 39%, where do we even start?
Well, the folks over at Konica Minolta use a fantastic analogy to make this highly technical subject feel a lot more tangible. They say that security, or the lack thereof, is like peeling an onion, meaning you've got to have layers, and lacking in layers is like lacking a security strategy. Without them, your whole organization can easily just come unraveled.
Let's see how this builds layer by layer. Step 1, the outer layer, untrained employees. Hackers absolutely love targeting people because, let's face it, human error is the easiest way in. Your team should be your human firewall, but without training, they're kind of your biggest vulnerability. Step 2 is the inner layer, outdated hardware and software. Just like that mask hack we talked about, if you have unpatched software running in the background, you're practically leaving the keys in the lock. And finally, step 3, the core, a lack of continuous security monitoring. Without that core layer actively watching for anomalies, a hacker could be hanging out inside your system for months without you ever even noticing.
Section 4, Proactive Risk Assessments.
So how do we actually secure those layers before an attack happens? Well, a cybersecurity risk assessment is exactly what it sounds like. It's evaluating your digital systems to identify weaknesses before threat actors can exploit them, whether that's spotting a phishing vulnerability in your employee training or finding an unpatched server. It is the absolutely critical first step to eliminating your blind spots. You simulate an attack safely, figure out where you're weak, and then build a roadmap to fix it.
So the crucial point here is the return on investment. Organizations using automated risk assessments reduce their data breach costs by an average of $2 million. That's according to IBM's Cost of a Data Breach report. Just think about that. $2 million saved simply by looking for the holes in the fence before the wolves actually arrive. And the ROI goes way beyond just saving money post-breach. Companies with a mature, proactive risk assessment process are 50% less likely to suffer a significant data breach in the first place. See, it's a calm, calculated business decision that drastically shifts the odds in your favor.
Section 5, empowering non-technical leaders.
Now, if you're a business leader sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds great, but I'm not an IT expert, I don't code, I can't do this, hey, don't worry. You absolutely must take charge of this, and the good news is the market has adapted to help you do exactly that. Here's a clean buyer's guide of key software features non-technical leaders should look for. First, an intuitive UI. You want dashboards that simplify complex data. Second, comprehensive risk identification. It needs to check for software flaws, human factors, the whole 9 yards. Third, and honestly most importantly, actionable recommendations. The software shouldn't just point out a problem. It needs to tell you exactly how to fix it in plain English. And finally, compliance tracking to help you seamlessly meet standards.
The bottom line is incredibly important to remember here. You don't need to be an IT genius to lead a security initiative. You just need the right tools and strategy. Modern AI-driven software bridges that technical gap entirely. Leadership involvement is absolutely crucial, because a cyber attack doesn't just hurt your servers, right? It devastates your overall business strategy, your reputation, and your financial health. Which brings us to our final thought. Think back to that open front door from the beginning of this explainer. The psychology of panic is powerful, for sure, but the power of preparation, that is completely unbeatable. The data is clear, the tools are accessible, and the risk is entirely too high to just ignore. So, I'm going to leave you with this question to ask yourself and your team. Are you waiting for the front door to swing open, or are you ready to lock it today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Take action, stay secure, and I'll catch you next time.